Hello and welcome to Chapter 8 Review. Alright guys, we're going to do a quick review of Chapter 8, hoping this jogs your memory of any information you may need in the future. Alright, so we're going to go over alternating current. Alternating current has a positive and a negative cycle. This also affects how the positive and negative actually what goes towards our workpiece or what comes away from our workpiece. Okay. DC electrode negative or electrode positive. DC only allows our current to flow in one direction. Whether it's electrode negative or electrode positive tells us which direction it's going in terms of towards our work or away from our work. Okay. We know that we can see voltage and current values on our machine, but we know that because it is a constant current machine, we are only going to be able to adjust our amperage. Open circuit voltage. The lights are on, but nobody's home. We have the machine running, everything set up, our ground set up. We got an electrode in our stinger, but there's no welding. Once there's welding, this is arc voltage. All right, so we understand that we create a current and we actually close a circuit. Once we close that circuit, it creates resistance and heat, and then it melts our stuff. All right, so we know that our welding machine can be AC, DC, or AC-DC, depending on what we're working with, the type of material, including the type of rod. A transformer rectifier is most commonly used because it gives us the smoothest, most consistent arc. Okay? Constant current machines have a steep volt-amp curve. We know a constant current machine allows us to do, let's say, when we have a longer arc, it affects our voltage and our current when it's too long or too short. Okay? So that's why it becomes so steep, and it being so steep, we have issues. Okay? All right, we understand that we also need to plug into the positive or negative part of the terminal. Transformer rectifier machines, that's what we're talking about, the big old behemoths, are easiest to use. Okay? Inverters. This allows our machines to become smaller and smaller. Okay? We can change the frequency, which makes it a lot easier to use, and change it for what we need it to do. Okay? We can also have engine-driven power sources. All right, and here's the different types of engine-driven welding machines. Remember, the more little bells and whistles that you have on it, the more likely it's going to be a bajillion dollars. You know, some of these engine-driven machines, they go from starting at $3,000. I've seen it up to $100,000 for a welding machine that's engine-driven. All right, duty cycle is a percentage of time during a specified period that the welding machine can be operated at its rated load without exceeding the temperature limits. That percentage of time is 10 minutes. Okay, so if I have a 20% duty cycle, okay, it's 0.20 times 10, which would be 2 minutes. All right, we also need some really important stuff, i.e. the leads, the ground, maybe some clamps, maybe an electrode holder. We also need tools like chipping hammers and brushes, as well as plenty of ventilation. We also want to make sure we have correct PPE, including glasses, a jacket, maybe leather sleeves, and a helmet. We want to make sure that we have proper eye protection as well as the proper shade that we're supposed to be wearing. All right, remember, heat used for SMAW is generated from an arc, and it jumps across a gap at the end of the electrode. And this gap creates resistance to the current and generates heat. Okay? NEMA has set a standard for duty cycle based on a 10-minute period. Duty cycle expresses the actual operating time that a welding machine may be used at its rated load without exceeding the temperature limits of the component parts. We want to make sure that we keep leads orderly to prevent them, from being a tripping hazard. We also want to make sure that we don't kink them, there's any burns, cuts, anything like that, that we fix or replace them. We also want to make sure that we use the properly sized leads to prevent voltage drop. If we're welding near others, we will also want to make sure that we are not going to sparkle them in the face as well as not blind them. So we want to make sure that we use the proper welding screens. We want to use an electrode holder that is insulated, that has good jaws, and that we're not going to shock ourselves. We also want to weld in areas where there's adequate ventilation because some of these fumes can become toxic if we tend to breathe them. All right, what is an electrical circuit? An electrical circuit is a path taken by electrical current flowing one terminal to the other through a conductor. Okay. What is the difference between AC and DC? DC only flows in one direction. There's no change in current flow. AC has alternating current of positive and negative, and they change directions. What is polarity? Polarity is the positive or negative state of an object, and polarity determines the direction of current flow in a DC circuit. What determines whether the polarity of a welding machine is set for DCEN or DCEP? Well, wherever we are connecting in the front, the terminals, the positive or the negative, how we have connected it. What is voltage? Voltage is the amount of electrical pressure in a circuit. Voltage does not flow. Okay? Voltage is measured by a voltmeter. What effect does welding polarity have on where heat is directed? Polarity determines whether the current flows into the workpiece or away from it, and it affects your penetration. What is voltage drop? Voltage drop is the voltage decrease across a component due to resistance of the flow of current. When there's too great of a drop, the welding machine cannot supply enough current. What is meant by open circuit voltage and arc voltage? The lights are on, but nobody's home. The welding machine is ready to go, but no welding is being done. Arc voltage is the voltage present after we strike an arc and maintain it. What is meant by a constant current welding machine? A constant current welding machine is a welding machine that maintains a relatively constant current over a wide range of voltages, and it's changed by arc length. What is the volt-amp curve? Well, the volt-amp curve is the curve showing the relationship between output of voltage and output of current. Why is a transformer rectifier often preferred? Transformer rectifier welding machines are not capable of producing constant DC, and DC produces the highest quality. How are welding machines rated? Welding machines are rated in size according to their current and voltage output at 60% duty cycle. The rating is the current output at the working terminal. What is duty cycle when specifying machine ratings? Duty cycle is the percentage of time during a specified period that a welding machine can be operated at its rated load without exceeding the temperature limits of the insulation of the component parts. And my period of time is 10 minutes. Why is it important to only weld when there's adequate ventilation? Well, we can be hurting ourselves, right? Oh, what are some of the requirements of an electrode holder? Well, we want to make sure that it's light to reduce excessive fatigue. It doesn't heat up too rapidly. It's well balanced. We want to make sure the jaws secure and release the electrodes easily. It's properly insulated. And we want to make sure that it's rated for what we're doing. That's it. All right.